Good morning, Senna, and good morning to your team. Greetings from the northern part of Ghana.
Mm.
Mm.
Prof, I hope you're well.
I'm okay. I hope you are well too.
Same here. First, let's start with your views on if you watch the vetting. It's difficult to miss though. What were your observations?
Yes, Senna, as I always do, I comment on these things as a political scientist and from a political science perspective. So I want to understand what happened as a constitutional um, kind of act that was supposed to be um, representing the people in holding, in vetting or probing the integrity of people, the nominee. We are practicing a representative democracy, and as we always say, sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana. So the vetting was a constitutional process, a kind of trying to put into practice this representative democracy, where the people's representatives will probe the integrity of the nominee, his jurisprudential, record or capacity, and then his, you know, principles of accountability or independence. So all these were supposed to be what they should do, but it turned out to be a political theater. And as I've always described the democracy of Ghana, this was all about the political elite, trying to engage in political performance in the name of the people, but actually this was just about their own political interest. And if I have to go into details in terms of this political behavior, I think this had more to do with the minority than the majority.
It had more to do with the minority than the majority. Please explain.
Yes, because we finally saw, from the beginning, they were there to just probably run down the nominee and then to call to question the Justice Paul Committee, which was set up under Article 146 of the Constitution. And this was not the purpose of the vetting. As I said, they were there to do the constitutional duty as representatives of the people, holding the executive accountable, and then even making sure that the nominee actually fits to serve in that capacity. I mean, a very high level at that, heading one of the arms of government, an independent arm of government. They were there to scrutinize him and to ensure that the people's voices are heard in that vetting. But they came with a prepared speech, ready to run down the nominee, calling him a disputed nominee, running down the Justice Palmer Committee, whilst meanwhile Justice Palmer was sitting there. He can't respond. In any case, that was not what was on the table to be discussed. So why bring all these things? No single question to the nominee on his integrity, on his jurisprudential record in terms of judgment, in terms of where he sided in the case of political issues like election petitions, his administrative capacity, especially when he took over as an acting CJ recently. Nothing on that. And then a prepared speech making wild allegations that border on impugning the integrity of the nominee and Justice Palmer and his committee members without any evidence. And then finally, the ultimate goal was what? To end up after running these people down, then they will walk out. They were not coming to participate in the vetting. Is that what their constituents sent them to do? We can read the same political theatrics to the majority actions, but how are we going to justify that? Because they were insisting that the right thing should be done. We are here to vet the nominee. Go ahead and ask your questions. So I can't just say put them in the same, just lump them together as probably performing or a performative political act rather than representing the people. Because for the majority, they were saying, here is the nominee. Go ahead and ask the questions. But that was not the case. So that's why I think in terms of political theater, performance for their own political goal, I think this is, has to do with the minority side headed by Afenyo Markins rather than the majority side headed by Honorable Ayarika.
But they were clear from the very beginning. In fact, when they went on the floor of Parliament, they indicated to the Speaker, they filed a motion to try to stop the vetting didn't happen. Shouldn't be anticipated that perhaps is the continuation of that agenda when we all saw them sitting there?
So, I mean, these are parliamentary procedures. If you file a motion to stop and it didn't go through, there must be other processes. Once it didn't go through, then you agree to come to the vetting, then vet the nominee. I mean, what rule of natural justice are we talking of? When you can say, or you are defending the right of the former CJ because you think her rights have been trampled upon, you think this is illegal, you think this is an overreach by the executive. Never mind Article 146, all the rules, the rule of law was followed. None of this was done just by the president acting on his own whims and caprices. It was all laid down by the Constitution. Nobody disputes that. Then you arrive at the vetting and you start describing this man who has served the country in various capacities as a disputed nominee. What are you doing to him? Was that the purpose? Could he respond to that? He couldn't respond. You then go to the Justice Palmer Committee and you start running them down. The committee's work was a travesty of justice. It was done in an opaque manner. All these things to mean what? That is being there to vet the nominee when you never ask one question that has to do with probing his integrity as a judge. When he has been on the bench for all these years, you couldn't come out with any record on which you can ask him questions. You know, he took over as the acting CJ and then was the head. You couldn't come out with anything to ask him about his, administrative records for this period that he was acting. I just find that to be political theater that they were engaged in, especially when they finally ended up on the note that they were walking out. And that means they were just coming there to run these people down and then to walk out. That was the purpose.
if their purpose was to make a statement, at least tell the public that I am here, pay attention to me, because that's what they intended to do, and then stage a walkout. With the way things played out, do you think they achieved their aim?
Oh, I think Honorable Afenyo Markins and his caucus are still living in a dreamland. It seems they haven't realized the new political situation that they are facing. They still think that they are entitled to, exercise power or authority the way they want. Otherwise, if you look at the mood of Ghanaians, the overwhelming mandate they gave to President Mahama and the NDC, and just 9 months into that mandate, no major scandal. I can even say no scandal. The economy is doing better. People are seeing it. And then you are engaged in this political theater, which I think is just making most Ghanaians angry. So they might be, trying to please their base, but you don't win an election just by pleasing your base. You have to read the mood of Ghanaians, especially those who are they call swing voters, the middle class. You think they cannot cut through this the veil of this performance, and to judge that you are just performing for your own political goal. You are not really concerned about the interests of your constituents. Those who voted for the NDC based on the poor performance of the previous government can read in between the lines. They are discerning, and so all this, I would say, doesn't amount to anything. They are just, I think they have to re-strategize. This is not going to help them.
I see. Let me conclude then by taking your views on the nominee. Were you impressed with the responses to the issues that came up?
Oh, yeah. I think he discharged himself very well. I mean, he acquitted himself very well in terms of responses he gave to the questions. And I think the questions were quite tough. I mean, it didn't mean that after the minority left the vetting, he had an easy ride. He was asked very tough questions, and I think he responded very well. He demonstrated that he has an impeccable credentials when it comes to knowledge of the law, when it comes to his integrity, and actually he knows a lot about the problems that have bedevilled the judiciary, and I mean efforts to address them. I was impressed by the fact that he was not concerned about his authority to empanel judges of the Supreme Court to hear cases, and was willing to explore the possibilities of using AI to do that rather than he being the administrative head having the power to do that. That just shows that this is not somebody who is coming to do the bidding of whoever the party or the government that nominated him, because he's prepared to even try AI in terms of empaneling the judges to hear cases. I think this is a good sign that he's not coming to do the bidding of the government that nominated him.
Prof, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you.
And I keep advertising a conversation with Prof on the matter of Galamsey or illegal mining, because he took the view and wrote a whole book about state capture and the Galamsey issue and how that needs to be dealt with urgently. And so the recent issues of our Galamsey, we'll find time and speak to Prof on that. SM,